It's late at night. You think you're safe. You turn the lights out, and then you hear a scream and shout. No one's home. You're alone. Lay back down, pull up your sheets. Your knees start to feel weak. You can feel your heartbeat. Is your door closed? You feel your feet exposed. Now you're in a state. It's much, much too late. You can't escape this deadly fate. Warning, the following podcast contains strong language which may be offensive to some viewers and or inappropriate for children. The content within this podcast is intended for mature audiences only. Okay, so welcome back, my creepsters, my wicked fiends, our creepsters, our wicked fiends, to Sinister Ghouls, Twisted Sisters, your paranormal, true crime, and everything creepy podcast. I have been on vacation with my doo-doo special red spanking boy. We went down south and enjoyed the beach. So there's been a lot of things going on over on this end. So we're sorry if you guys have missed us. What was that? Something. Oh, so I have a cane that I'm using, you guys. Okay, because I have plantar fasciitis issue pulled or something. I almost fell down the stairs a while back. So now I had to use it. And then going to the beach and everything actually helped it. As weird as that sounds, right? Walking through the freaking sand. It was like a relief. But anyways, we're back. And I have a crazy fucking crime for you guys. I was actually doing some cleaning and listening to a podcast, another podcast I enjoy. And she was, filling her listeners, which was myself, in on this fucking story. And it's insane to me. So let's start it off, okay? Ashley Bocanegra was a young woman, a mother of one, and she found herself caught in a pretty awful love triangle. Triangle! Triangle. If you guys haven't been able to tell, it's Ghouli Gonzo. That's who I am. I'm your host. And I'm by myself. I'm by myself today. But that's okay because Poopy and Jojo and Doo-Doo, Special Spankin' Boy, will be recording another episode tomorrow that we'll be releasing next week. And so it's just me. And I'm not drinking alcohol either. I'm drinking lots of wagwa. I'm drinking water. And I miss you guys. I just miss you guys. So anyways, back to it. Ashley Bocanegra, she was a young woman. She found herself caught in a pretty awful love triangle, not realizing that the evil that came with this mistake, she just didn't realize what was going to freaking happen. So I'm going to call her Bocanegra or Ashley, whatever, I say. Bocanegra was his name was Daniel Gonzalez, okay? She was Daniel Gonzalez's manager at a nearby floor and decor depot. And Gonzalez had confided with his 17-year-old sister, Janine Gonzalez, about his issue, his tryst, his, what was going on. So, Janine Gonzalez told Antonetta Stevens all about a hatched revenge plot after seeing her, then I'm talking about Stevens, seeing her partner and his lover, who is Ashley Bocanegra, walking together near the store on his lunch break. So, you guys can understand, Janine Gonzalez is Daniel's little sister. She and Antonetta Stevens are friends. So it's almost like her sister-in-law, but not really. Okay? So anyways, she and her sister-in-law kind of hatched a revenge plot. Okay? So, Ashley Bocanegra was lured by these two horrific, evil women to fight, to a fight, sorry, that ended up turning deadly. Antonetta Stevens, 27, used her fiance's phone and was sending text messages to trick 30-year-old New York native Ashley Bocanegra into coming to her home in Burford, Georgia, acting as if her fiance was asking Ashley to come over to see him, and pretty much saying, Antonetta Stevens isn't there, what, come see him, knowing that she would come. This was according to Law and Crime. So let's not, the elephant in the room. Okay, let me take a sippy sip of my water or my wagwa. So what's crazy, I understand, you guys, girls that cheat with your man, right, piss you off, okay? But it comes down to this. Personal experience, okay? Being married at one point and being with this person for over a decade. He had his issues, wasn't a great husband at all. When they have an affair, you get mad, right, at the other woman. Like, oh God, the bitch, you know what? But in reality, your man shouldn't even be able to, how do I put it? Your man shouldn't even be entertaining another woman, no matter the cause, no matter the situation. So, a lot of people want to fight. They want to, I never wanted to with my situation. I could have easily, trust me, taken care of that. But you have to think about these decisions that you're making. She's not worth your time. She was able to distract your person, boyfriend, husband, girlfriend, spouse, partner, whoever. They were able to distract them. It is not up to you to then go out and take revenge on that person, because it was your man who allowed it to happen. Now, I get it. If people were best friends and your best friend sleeps with your partner, okay, that's rough. But listen, you can't just beat people up. You just can't do that. Okay? Karma comes to all of us. So if you are a woman who entertains a married man or a person that is with someone for years and has children, if you're a woman that does that, your karma comes to you, right? And it's something that you gotta, as the girl that's dealing with the cheating and your boyfriend doing so, you gotta let that shit go and leave your man, okay? Depending on the circumstances, I know a lot of people will fight for their relationship, but in reality, this man, it's time to leave them. And in my situation, which I've never really gotten deep into, with my marriage, I was married to him for 12 years. I was with him for about 13. Actually, not really. The last 2 years of that, I had separated and left him. Because I was manipulated into believing he was the victim, of things in his past and whatnot. And that, it wasn't controllable. Well, that's not how that works. So, it's hard when you don't really have anything and you depend on your person to take care of you, in my situation. So everybody's clear, because nobody really understands. I've never really spoken. I was not really working. I wasn't really working. I guess I was, doing some companionship care, helping the elderly. Through 2020 as well, a lot of people needed some extra help. And, I had no problem doing that. But I didn't really have my own, he made all the money, right? So once I found out everything that was going on and all of the constant lying, you guys, and it takes a lot. I started to save, and I moved back to where my hometown is. Got my own place, brought my pets, built my life, made some amazing best friends, tried to file for divorce. Of course, he didn't want to. He was staying with the other person. And what's crazy to me is she didn't know that the whole time, I'm assuming, she thought he was all about her. All he was doing was trying to get back with me. So, and that just wasn't going to happen. And his excuses were absurd. That she's blackmailing him. He can't leave, all this stuff. And you're so manipulated into believing these things from these men or partner. I'm saying men on my behalf, on my own personal experience. And it's like, you know, there comes a time where you put your foot down and you're like, yeah, nah, this is BS. And I filed for divorce. And that's all I wanted. And of course it was dragged out, and, we don't have children. We didn't own a house. I didn't do any of that because I wasn't sure that that was going to be my person. Because of the things he was able to do to me throughout the marriage, So I'm saying I never acted on the girl. She spoke to me on the phone once or twice, and honestly, I just feel bad for the person. She was a blessing for me because I wouldn't be where I am right now if she didn't interfere and he didn't allow it. So, in the end, she saved my life. And now she has to deal with all of that, which now she's dealing with the aftermath. And that's what the karma is. That's just what it is. It is now up to us to take action and do what these women did to Ashley Bocanegra. So there's a little bit about my past, you guys. I have been divorced now for 8 months, and it's amazing. My best friends I made in my life when I moved back, in my job and everything, were a blessing. And the love of my life now is who I'm with. I've never felt this way about anybody. I've never been treated as amazing. And the thing is you have to know your worth as women or as men or as whoever you are, who you're with, know your worth. Okay? Don't settle. Don't settle. You know in your gut if it's worth it, right? So this girl, okay, Antonetta Stevens, should have just let him go. And I understand she had kids with him, which I'm going to get into. But you let him go. You know what I'm saying? Why? I don't get it. It's not just Ashley Bocanegra's fault. Hold on, I'm trying to adjust my speaker stuff. Okay. So I think it's doing it. Okay. So it's not literally, it's just not, in my opinion, it's just not cool to act the way that these girls did at all. So they lured Ashley to, his house under false pretenses and whatnot. Okay, there. Adjusted. Okay, so let's get into it. So she got, and I'm talking about Stevens, her fiance's sister, because that was an Antonetta's fiance, Daniel Gonzalez, Janine Gonzalez, to play a huge role in this assault. To film as she rushed mom of one, Ashley Bocanegra, but both women started beating her dangerously and violently and dragging her down the street by her hair, screaming at her. Janine was following right behind, filming the encounter on her phone as Stevens initially approached her victim, shouting, "I will murder you. I will do worse to you," she screams as she punches Bocanegra in the face. "That's why he was trying to protect you, but now he don't care for you to get your ass beat." Janine dragged the helpless victim along the street, pulling her hair as Stevens rained down lethal blows down on to Ashley, the victim. The pair then grabbed her phone, intending to use it to inform Bocanegra's husband about her affair she was having with the Daniel Gonzalez. And they left her sitting battered and bloodied in the street as they returned to the apartment. So, also, let me just say, she did scream, "I will murder you." Stevens did, at one point, like I said. So, it was on camera, just so you know, a lot of this. And it's just crazy to me, you guys. It's just crazy to me. So, it was too brutal to be screened. So, when you watch things, there's certain things you can and cannot see. There are video. Antonetta Stevens and Janine Gonzalez, who was 17, also faced aggravated battery and robbery charges on August 11th. Gwinnett County Police wrote in a news release, Gonzalez's brother obviously had been romantically involved with Stevens and Ashley Bocanegra, and that their relationship was the reason for this big attack. Stevens could not stomach Ashley and knew that he was mixed up with her, and she wanted her revenge on the other woman. That's crazy. Like I said, your man did it. Also, your man did it. I understand despising the other woman because you love your man so much, but he's gross for doing it. Gonzalez, Daniel, had been obliviously sleeping while this attack took place. He awoke to the sounds of Ashley knocking at the door, asking for her phone back. Her attackers handed it back, and she literally just limped away before police arrived in response to neighbors' 911 calls. So the police arrived, but Ashley had already limped away. But later on that evening, they were back again, the police, to let Stevens and Gonzalez know of the outcome of their actions. Upon learning about Ashley Bocanegra and learning that she had died as a result of her injuries, Antonetta Stevens callously responded to cops, in quotes, "Okay, wow, I'm sorry about that. That was not my intention. I've been mentally going through a lot," she says. "I have bipolar depression and I'm just going through a lot right now." Are you kidding me, you guys? Oh, wow. I'm sorry about that. That was not my intention. They acted on camera as if Ashley herself, I'm gonna eat a piece of candy, you guys. Okay, they acted, oh, it's all good old-fashioned watermelon candy. Hard candies, you guys. So, they acted like Ashley was the one who came over to start a fight with them. So, that's what she came here and we equally fought, whatever. Okay. They didn't care. So, that makes my stomach hurt. Bocanegra suffered severe injuries in this fight. Following the attack, Bocanegra, you can see on video at some point, she gets back to her apartment. You can see she is wobbly, having trouble breathing, trying to get to her keys. Then you see her, I think it's her husband, come behind her and he takes her to the hospital. And later that day, she died from internal bleeding. They fractured her ribs and her liver. She couldn't breathe out of her mouth. They had to put a tube in. She died before surgery could even be performed on her. Family and friends of Bocanegra, Ashley Bocanegra, described her as a happy person who was so full of life. And according to a GoFundMe page, launched on her behalf, she is survived by a 7-year-old son. She was a happy individual who lit up a room as soon as she walked in. The GoFundMe reads. Ashley was born and raised in New York City and moved to Georgia for a better life for her and her son. Mm, mm, mm. Investigators questioned Antonetta Stevens and Janita Gonzalez, and arrested them in connection with the incident. Police said the women were also accused of stealing Bocanegra's cell phone during the attack, which we remember they did. They wanted to tell her husband about the affair. Police footage has laid bare the moment a scorned fiancé realizes she faces years in jail after beating up her partner's lover and leaving her for dead. She puts her head down on the table because she knows she did wrong, but she doesn't feel bad for it. You can clearly tell. Neither does Janita. Janita, too, was hauled down to the precinct where she repeatedly laughs as she recounts what took place, seemingly unaware that her freedom is hanging by a thread. Janita Gonzalez says, so, she's coming and we go, and she comes to the house. You know, it's a big fight. So, after the fight, we took her phone. We were going to her husband, or going to tell her husband and to let him know, you know, just to stir some. And then she laughs. She starts banging on the door like a crazy COS. You know, we got her phone, so she finally gets her phone back after acting all crazy. Yeah, so I don't know how she left. Like, I wasn't watching after that because my brother was mad as hell. And you know, he don't want me in his business. I was already in too much. So he's like on my ass. So I'm just like, okay. And that was her response. Mind you, she's laughing the whole time. She knows that Ashley Bocanegra has passed, and she's laughing. In the other interview room, Stevens, her head falls to the table as she is left alone for a moment with a homicide charge now hanging over her head. She also stated, says detectives, I don't go out looking to harm anybody. It wasn't my intention to even get into an altercation with her today. Janine's grin freezes on her face and changes to a look of horror as an interviewer calmly informs her that she too is being charged with murder. Me? Janine said. She gasped it. Whoa, that's too bad. No. What? Murder? I barely laid hands on her. All I did was pull her hair. These girls in the interview, when you watch it, is going to make your blood boil. So when they first go to the house and they go to the door and they ask their questions, they just don't care. They just don't. Then when they're in the actual police station, it's crazy to me that Stevens says it wasn't she wasn't out to harm anybody. Whatever. Yes, you were. You guys planned this whole thing. They had the text messages to lure her in. Y'all knew what you were going to do, and y'all attacked this poor fucking girl, and you beat her to death. And that's so sad. So sad to me. She has a 7-year-old son. Yes, maybe she shouldn't have been messing around, but it is not your place to do that. You can hate and be mad and whatever, but that is not your place. Like I said, karma comes to us all. And this is not the type of karma I'm talking about. Her dying. That's crazy. So anyway, both remain in the Gwinnett County Jail without bond as of that Monday, August 15th. Now, it happened on the 11th, right? Booking records, this was last year. Booking records show Buford is about 40 miles northeast of downtown Atlanta. Janine Gonzalez and Antonetta Stevens are now both in an Arundel State Prison serving 20-year sentences for voluntary manslaughter and robbery by force. Ashley Bocanegra left behind a 7-year-old son, and Antonetta Stevens left behind a 3-year-old. This is a sick shame, okay? Sickening. I don't really even know what else to say about it. And if you want to rewind a little bit to when they took her phone, and Janita, did I say Janita or is it Janine? Janine, sorry, I said Janita back then, or a little bit ago. So Janine being interviewed and told, robbery is also going to be a charge. She was like, what? That don't make no sense. We gave her phone back. Like, we didn't rob her. And the police or the detective says to her, did you take her phone without permission, pretty much? And they went in the house and closed the door. You know what I'm saying? They took her phone. And she said, yeah, to tell her husband what she was doing, like she was having an affair. We gave it back. He said, but did you at any point take your phone without her permission? Well, that's robbery. So she was like pissed off about that. These girls are horrible human beings. Horrible. Over a cheating man. A cheating man, you're gonna attack a woman so brutally that she literally died from internal bleeding. And from what I can see about like in the video, which you can look it up, Ashley Bocanegra was a smaller girl. Like, she was smaller. Antonetta Stevens was a bigger girl. They knew what the hell that they were doing. They knew what the fuck their goal was. And you're exactly where you should be because you murdered an innocent girl. Yeah, she wasn't innocent of sleeping with your man, but your man isn't innocent either. So, I guess my advice to all y'all is don't be doing none of that to these girls that can take your man. I mean, it doesn't mean you're less of a person, if your man's cheating either. I'm a pretty fucking awesome person. And for a moment there, my ex made me feel like I wasn't worth anything. That's a joke. That's a joke because I'm a pretty awesome person. And I really care for people. I really do. I don't care who you are, what you do, what you believe in, I will always care for people. That's how I am. And I know for a fact I'm a catch. So you just have to move yourself forward and leave this type of person behind instead of going after somebody else. You know what I'm saying? So independent.com, some TikTok videos, Reddit, Daily Mail, morbidknowledge.com. I also listened to some podcasts and heard the stories. Some podcasts post videos. I'm not sure if I'm going to. I feel a little morbid about it. I feel bad for Ashley Bocanegra's family and her son. I feel bad for Stevens' son, Daniel Gonzalez and Stevens' son, because now there are 2 women who are not able to mother their children. One was murdered by the other, and the other's in prison. So, come on now. You know what I mean? But anyways, sorry I came back with such a bummer of a freaking episode. But I love you guys. We love you guys. And there's some new changes coming up. So I know we haven't been, right, it's been like Sunday, Monday postings of episodes. So it might be Mondays that they're posted. It's a lot easier for me to edit and do all the stuff on the weekends. So the next episode is going to be a fun one. And I'm going to have everybody on it. And you guys can find us Spotify, Pandora, Audible, YouTube, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Google Pod. You can pretty much find us almost everywhere. So have a listen. Give us a good rating. Give us some good stars. We plan to get back out there with some more episodes. And also, if you want to send listener support, you can do it at Venmo at Ghouli. I believe it's Ghouli23. Let me pull it up. I haven't been on here trying to get any listener support. We plan to do a camping video trip and upload it. I've been saying it, but we're waiting for, some more listener support to help out with location, traveling, things like that. So, if you would like to send anything, it's at Ghouli23, Ghouli 23, and it is S Ghouli Gonzo, just me in a black tank top. You can send anything you want. $1, $50, $2,000, $10, whatever, or don't. Find us on Instagram, Sinister Ghouls Podcast. Find us on Facebook group, Sinister Ghouls / Twisted Sisters. I'm also on X, Sinister Ghouls / Twisted Sisters. You can, oh my God, email us at sinisterghoul23@gmail.com. If you want us to read one of your creepy stories you have or some past stuff that happened to you, let us know if you want your name on it or not. If you do, we'll say your name. If you don't, we won't. But if you want to be on an episode, get your stories in. Your scary tales, your wicked tales, your creepy stories, true crime, anything. Or you can even write yourself a story if you want and see if you can scare the shit out of me. Not likely, but give it a shot. Yeah, so I guess other than that, you guys, we love y'all. And I'm glad I'm back on vacation. I'm going somewhere else again on my birthday weekend because I have an amazing man who spoils the shit out of me. And I love him. But again, we miss y'all. All you creepsters. I hope you guys have been staying safe, sexy, and spooky. And with that being said, I hope you have a fantastic day and a ghouly evening. Stay safe. Always stay sexy. And of course, stay spooky. Mwah.